Okay, today we celebrate three very, very important days. International Day of Yoga, Father's Day, as well as the International Day of Music. So we are very, very blessed this afternoon to have the Consul General of India, His Excellency Mr. Anish Rajan, who is going to be talking to us about the International Day of Yoga. Good afternoon, Mr. Rajan.
Good afternoon. Namaste and Vanakkam to Dr. Raj Gounder and all the listeners. Thank you, sir, for having me on your show. And I wish everyone a happy International Day of Yoga, a happy Father's Day, and a happy Music Day.
Thank you so much, CG. Now, being International Day of Yoga, I think the listeners of Capital Radio that are presently listening in South Africa as well as in other parts of the world, they would like to know what is yoga and why do we celebrate this important concept?
Yoga is a discipline, an exercise, a practice that aims at holistic health and well-being by addressing the physical, mental, and spiritual dimensions of our existence. As you know, in Sanskrit language, word yoga means to join or to unite, symbolizing the union of body, mind, and consciousness.
Excellent, excellent. So on 11th of December 2014, a very, very important event took place because the United Nations proclaimed 21st June today as the International Day of Yoga. Why is this a significant milestone, CG?
In 2014, Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi, in his address during the 69th session of the United Nations General Assembly, he had proposed this initiative. And recognizing the universal appeal of the initiative on 11 December 2014, the United Nations proclaimed 21st June as the International Day of Yoga. And the draft resolution was interestingly supported by a record 175 member states of the UN.
Yes.
I think this is unprecedented. This was something very, very special, and why we decided, the entire UN decided to support this initiative and decided to celebrate June 21st as a Yoga Day. One, UN and World Health Organization had recognized the importance of yoga. In particular, the of yoga's ability to help people deal with a lot of the challenges of the modern world. And WHO also, I think, had mentioned that time that one of the top 10 leading causes of death worldwide was, and the key risk for non-communicable diseases was reduced physical inactivity. That is happening because a lot of people are finding it very difficult to exercise regularly and to play a sport, to have an active life. I know we would always tell people, please walk, let's go to the gym.
Correct.
But many people were not doing that. So this particular focus is not just a national focus of India, it is a focus of the entire world. And although yoga is a gift of India to the world, now yoga does not belong to India alone, it belongs to the entire humanity. So I think that is the main
milestone.
Impetus for deciding to celebrate or mark one day in a year as the International Day of Yoga.
Excellent. Now, CG, since this United Nations declaration, how has this day been observed in different parts of the world?
International Day of Yoga, ever since its first edition in 2015, has become bigger and better over the last 5 years. This year we have the 6th edition of International Day of Yoga. And the day is marked by many public events and people coming out in large numbers and doing yoga together. A lot of the people, I guess, regular yoga practitioners would be doing yoga in yoga institutions, or they would be doing yoga alone. In this particular day, the last 5 years, you've seen that it is very important for people to come out and celebrate, and you would also know that there are lots of yoga schools and yoga styles in India, in South Africa, around the world. So there is, in one particular day, it is very important to, adopt a common yoga protocol of Ministry of Ayush, Government of India, and do some of the asanas, and in particular introduce yoga to beginners. So this, this particular approach to, I think, celebrating yoga would definitely spread the message of yoga to newer segments of our society who may not have known about yoga or ever seen anyone perform yoga asanas. So therefore, it is very important to mark one day and 1 month in a year to focus on these kinds of outreach activities.
Excellent. And tell me, you may have had different diplomatic postings and so on. Now, and you may have seen the public interest. What has been the public interest in this significant day in different parts of the world?
See, a lot of the events being organized by Indian embassies and consulates in partnership with local governments, departments, and other friendly embassies and consulates depend on getting people of all nationalities, of all cultures, faiths, racial groups, linguistic groups across. All these barriers which at times create problems between human beings. This particular day, we see that we try to get as much as participation as possible, and to get a lot of youngsters also. And that is why generally the yoga day, not every year it falls on a Saturday or Sunday or Friday, but we try to do a lot of the events on holidays in the month of June around the yoga day, so that people can come out and participate in large numbers. And it's a people-driven process, because at the end of the day, if people don't like coming out and participating in such kind of events, then there is no point in having such events.
Okay.
And that is where I've seen that in Durban every year we have seen larger numbers at the Durban amphitheatre on the beach for the yoga day. This year, unfortunately, we are in the midst of the lockdown and all the social distancing measures, so we are celebrating in a very unique way.
Yes, and as a social cohesion activist and a social cohesion advocate in a country like South Africa, where there's such a diverse population, I am very keen in noting that this particular International Day of Yoga, which I participated in the past few years, it has attracted people from all religions, all race groups, all age groups, and that is something very, very notable and very noteworthy. Do you think that this is a very, very important social cohesion initiative?
Absolutely, absolutely. I think this has got a lot of potential for promoting and developing social cohesion among the youth, among different sections of the society. And that role yoga has performed and is performing in India. I'm sure it has that role in South Africa and other countries also. Because sometimes people misunderstand the utility of yoga and feel that, okay, yoga may only be for a particular group of people, and that is very important for us to clear the questions and doubts which different people have on yoga and yoga day and things like that. And in particular, I have to thank a lot of people in Durban, a lot of cultural institutions, yoga institutions, and community leaders like you who have really supported us in all these activities, and we are looking forward to how we can work in this direction with all like-minded partners.
Yes. Now, we've noticed that, although 21st of June is the International Day of Yoga, but the Indian Consulate in Durban have been doing programs throughout the year in order to promote yoga, right? What type of programs does the Consulate of India in Durban do to promote yoga, not only today, but on all the days throughout the year?
Doctor, that's a very important question, because I think though we have very important programs in this day, on this day, in this week, and in this month, it's also very important to have a lot of effective programs throughout the year.
Mm-hmm.
And you are aware that we have Swami Vivekananda Cultural Center at the Consulate,
Mm-hmm.
headed by Dr. C.P. Yogi, and we also have a teacher of Indian culture, Kavita Solanki, working at the center. She is primarily a yoga teacher, and her classes are well attended, quite popular. And we used to have regular classes for the last 2 years up to March 2020, when the lockdown measures were announced and we started maintaining social distancing and staying home, staying safe approach. Till then, we were running this program. It was quite successful. Now, after the lockdown, we haven't been able, unfortunately, due to some technical issues, start live interactive yoga sessions. But we do often do yoga videos and upload it on the social media channels, Facebook, Twitter, etc. But something which we were not able to do, which in a large measure, which I would think that's a way ahead, is to also do yoga training programs outside of the consulate. Not everybody will be able to probably attend the courses or the classes at the center because of the timing, and also we need to look at Durban. Durban is a very large city, and we probably need to go to places for maybe a weekly session or so, and also look at special programs for senior citizens, and also definitely for schools. We can work. We have done programs in government schools in Durban, but that is one area where we have to be more focused and increase the quality and quantity of programs that we do with the schools. So I think after the lockdown is lifted, after we have this what you call and the modern menace, new menace of COVID-19 under control, we will definitely look at new kinds of outreach activities to spread yoga across new sections of the society.
Excellent. And I also noticed that at any given cultural program that is organized by the Swami Vivekananda Cultural Center, there's always an opportunity to use those platforms to demonstrate yoga so that people have an interest. And, I've also heard that the lady that you have mentioned have been demonstrating the yoga at a youth camp at the Drakensberg during a youth weekend activity. So this is indeed very, very praiseworthy, and and it has been very well received by the local communities. So I would like to commend the consulate on this. Right. Now, CG, going forward, we noticed that the 2020 theme for International Day of Yoga is Yoga for Health, Yoga at Home. I had an opportunity of listening to Prime Minister Narendra Modi, where he encouraged people during this very, very difficult period, in a dark period in human history, where he encouraged people to do yoga at home. Why is this theme, Yoga for Health, Yoga at Home, relevant in the context of the current COVID-19 pandemic?
Yes, entire world is in the midst of this crisis, and many of us are forced to spend a lot of time in our homes, more than the normal time, when I think all of us have to go outside to our office and company and schools and colleges.
Mm-hmm.
So, a lot of social events have not been allowed during the lockdown.
Correct.
So, since we are spending a lot of time in the home, and like I mentioned while answering your previous question, that there is a lot of physical inactivity happening, and people should be spending a lot of time in front of screens, TV, television sets, laptops, and other devices. So we need to have a balance, and since the entire family is together in the home, I think this would really help the entire family to do yoga together, and perhaps the person who is more adept at doing yoga can take the lead.
Correct.
And just allow everyone, senior citizens, children, to do yoga for small sessions in the morning and maybe a small session in the evening. So it's very important that we follow this protocol till all the lockdown measures are lifted and we can go back to yoga studios and gyms and sports grounds and parks and things like that. I think it's very important to follow this. So therefore, this year in particular, till we all and the lockdown measures are totally lifted, I think this approach has to be followed.
Correct.
So that is why Prime Minister was emphasizing on Ghar Ghar Se Yoga, which means yoga from home and yoga with family.
Excellent. In fact, there's been in recent times a moral degradation in society. And, having people together during this lockdown period where families are bonding together at home and so on, it was very, very crucial in a moral regeneration. And I would believe, like you mentioned now, where people have an opportunity of doing yoga together, simple yoga activities, it can contribute towards this moral regeneration of society. I mean, I've been, my wife a few weeks ago bought yoga mats and, encouraging us to do yoga at home. So if all families do these things, then obviously, there would be a better society because, a moral regeneration in society starts at home. If a family unit is strong, then society becomes strong. So it is an absolutely important theme, this yoga for health, yoga at home. And CG, there's another very important dimension to yoga. Yoga is a very powerful tool to deal with the stress of uncertainty and isolation, as well as to maintain the physical well-being of an individual. Right. Apart from looking at the physical, we look at the mental and emotional makeup. How can yoga help in this regard?
Yes, Doctor. Even during normal times, many of us are stressed out. We feel nervous. We feel anxious, anxiety, depression. Lot of ills. Like technology has brought us all closer together, but somehow at times you feel that we've become, a lot of distance is created between people because we are becoming more and more dependent on technology.
Correct.
And lot of good old family get-togethers and people chatting with each other have disappeared. And a lot of people were depending on technology and smartphone to totally take care of their social life. So there were few issues for some time. And then, of course, the challenges of drug abuse and alcohol excesses and domestic violence against women and children. And some of these things have actually increased during the lockdown.
Okay.
Across different countries. When you're reading media reports,
correct,
it's happening everywhere. It's not just happening in South Africa or in India or in a particular city in a particular country. No, these are problems. These are universal problems.
Correct.
So it is very important for us to look inward. Yoga, I think, yoga's definition is one thing, but when you are doing yoga, you are actually looking, you're opening your inner eye, you're looking inward. It also makes you calm. You're introspecting. The body, the muscles are getting relaxed. The
Yes.
the mind is getting calm, and then you are focused. You are less distracted, and then you realize what is what.
Yes,
So
correct.
that particular thing, yoga is a great mood booster.
Uh-huh.
And definitely in these times when the stress levels have gone up, people are losing jobs, and it is really, it is hitting hard those families which are in the underprivileged localities, or I would call socio-economically disadvantaged sections of society. They have been hit really hard.
Correct.
A lot of them have been laid off, losing jobs, don't know what is the future, uncertain times.
Correct.
People could feel like ending their lives, and a lot of people have lost near and dear ones in the last 2-3 months. So, I mean, there is a lot of confusion, and we don't know when this is going to end. That
Yes.
uncertainty itself is making people live a life on the edge. So so yoga may not have all the solutions to all the economic problems and things like that, but what it is helping is, it is just relaxing your mind in such a way that you are thinking right, you are acting right.
Yes, correct. Indirectly,
So
yeah.
that way, I hope that yoga would be able to address, and definitely yoga and Ayurveda,
Mm.
they have lot of ability to prevent the diseases and cure diseases. So by increasing the immunity and reducing these comorbid conditions, so that in that way itself, yoga indirectly, yoga and Ayurveda is helping people to deal with this situation.
Correct, because if you can get the mind of an individual correct, then obviously that individual will be a better person in community, a better person in school, a better person in the workplace, and in all aspects of life. So if a person's mind is controlled and brought back into normality, then his contribution to society will be much better. So, CG, the International Day of Yoga is obviously, from what we have been discussing so far, a very, very significant milestone, and it has been contributing immensely to changing the mindset of people and so on. So we'd like to thank you for this very, very important, interview, because you've really, really given us lots of inspiration. But in conclusion, CG, today is also celebrated as Father's Day. What message would you like to give to the listeners of Capital Radio in this regard? The listeners that are listening in today are listening in to special music and dedications on Father's Day. And you being a father yourself and also a father to your staff, what message would you like to give to the listeners of Capital Radio on this Father's Day?
Yes, I think to all the fathers and would-be fathers, my message would be that fatherhood is a very big responsibility,
Mm-hmm.
and we have to do everything that we can to see that our children see their fathers and mothers are the greatest role models in their lives.
Correct.
And for all of us, I would say, who have fond memories of their fathers, and some of us who have lost our fathers over the years, who are now in the heavenly abode,
Mm-hmm.
and especially those who have lost fathers and mothers in recent months.
Mm-hmm.
This is a moment to cherish the memories and to remember that, the fathers and the mothers are the greatest gifts of God to children,
Mm-hmm.
and to remember all the great things that they have done for us, all the sacrifices they have made to put us where we are. I think this is a great day. Growing up in India, you realize that, and when I came to South Africa also, the story is the same, that a lot of us coming from small families, we all are here because our parents sacrificed their life, their present for our future.
Correct.
So we are here because of them. So this is a great day in which the entire world is looking at all the fathers of the world, and I thank you once again for giving me this opportunity. And this is one city which I would find it very difficult once I in. I don't know when the time would come for me to leave Durban. It will be very difficult because the most time I have spent with my family has been in Durban. The last 15, 16 months I have spent with my son.
Correct.
So it has Durban has made me a more responsible father. I've realized my pluses and my negatives. So that's why I'm very grateful to Durban.
Okay.
And I once again wish all of you a happy International Day of Yoga and a happy Father's Day, and also a happy World Music Day to all the singers and the music lovers. Thank you so much, Dr. Raj Kaunda, for having me on your show.
Thank you so much, CG. On behalf of the management and staff of Capital Radio and the listenership, we would like to thank you and your staff at the Consulate of India in Durban for the remarkable work that you all are doing in promoting India in Durban. And we are very, very happy that you could partake in this interview. God bless you. Thank you very much.